Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time we're turning our attention to China,
Okay.
specifically to some of the latest economic and tech trends emerging from the region.
Right.
And we've got a pretty diverse range of sources for this one.
Yeah.
We're looking at financial reports, we've got market analyses, company announcements, even a few investment tips thrown in there.
It's a lot to cover, and it seems like there's so much activity across different sectors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like China's really pushing forward on multiple fronts.
Yeah.
And, it's not just about economic growth anymore. It seems like they're really looking to secure that leading position globally.
Absolutely. One thing that really jumped out at me was all the talk about these first meetings of the year.
Yeah.
Could you maybe shed some light on what those are exactly?
Sure, yeah.
And why they seem to be particularly significant this year?
So these first meetings of the year are essentially local government meetings where they outline their key priorities for the year.
Got it.
And what's really interesting this time around is just how many of them seem to be laser focused on real estate.
Yeah, I noticed that too. There was a lot of talk about revitalizing the real estate and construction sectors.
Right.
Why the sudden emphasis on real estate now?
Well, it makes sense when you consider what's been happening in the Chinese real estate market lately. For years, it was this major engine of economic growth.
Yeah,
But things have cooled down considerably.
right?
These first meetings, they really suggest that the government is really keen on getting this crucial sector back on track.
Okay.
And we saw announcements from several key cities, Chongqing aiming for what they're calling a stable recovery, Shenzhen emphasizing infrastructure investments, supporting private investment in real estate,
Right.
and Henan is even planning on using special bonds to revitalize idle land and support housing demand.
Sounds like they're pulling out all the stops.
Yeah.
Is there any indication, though, that these efforts might actually work?
Well, it's too early to say for sure.
Yeah.
But some analysts seem cautiously optimistic. Galaxy Securities, for instance, they're predicting a potential recovery in the market.
Interesting.
And they highlight the potential of something called urban village redevelopment as a driver of housing demand.
Urban villages.
Yeah.
For those of us who haven't come across this term before.
Yeah.
Could you break down what exactly these urban villages are?
So imagine
Yeah.
dense, older neighborhoods within major cities,
Okay.
often with substandard housing and infrastructure.
Got it.
That's essentially what urban villages are.
So like slums almost.
Yeah, you could think of it that way.
Okay.
And redevelopment would mean improving these areas, which could lead to displacement of residents
Right.
who would then need new homes.
Yeah.
And Galaxy Securities believes this could create significant new demand in the housing market.
It's fascinating to see how these different factors could potentially play out.
Right.
But shifting gears a bit,
Sure.
there's another topic dominating the headlines lately that I think we need to address. Artificial intelligence.
Yeah, definitely.
And it looks like China's making some pretty interesting moves in this space as well.
Absolutely. One development that's generating a lot of buzz is a Chinese-developed large language model called DeepSeek.
Okay, for anyone who's not immersed in the world of AI,
Right.
could you explain what a large language model is and why this DeepSeek model is such a big deal?
Imagine you had a digital Shakespeare
Wow.
who could not only write poems but also translate languages, write different kinds of creative content, answer your questions in a really informative way, all with incredible accuracy. It's essentially what a large language model is.
Got it.
They're trained on massive amount of data and can perform all sorts of complex language-related tasks.
Okay.
And DeepSeek seems to be one of the most advanced models out there.
So it's more than just a technological advancement.
Yeah.
It's a statement about China's ambitions in the global AI landscape.
Exactly. It signals that China is serious about competing head-to-head with those major players like Google and OpenAI in the AI arena.
I also noticed that a number of financial institutions in China seem to be making some big changes.
Yeah.
Like updating their IT strategies, restructuring their leadership teams. Seems like they're putting a lot of resources into AI as well.
They are.
Do you see a connection there?
Yes, definitely. It looks like financial institutions are starting to recognize that transformative potential of AI, and they're scrambling to adapt,
Okay.
updating their IT infrastructure, retraining personnel, and even reorganizing departments to be able to really leverage AI's capabilities.
What specific areas are they focusing on within the financial sector?
Well, we're seeing a lot of activity around data analysis, risk management,
Okay.
and even customer service.
So how can AI give them an edge in those areas?
Well, AI can help them process massive amounts of data to identify trends,
Okay.
assess risks more effectively, and personalize customer interactions in ways that weren't possible before.
So it's not just about keeping up with the technology.
Right.
It's about gaining a competitive advantage.
Exactly.
Would you say this is a uniquely Chinese phenomenon? Or are we seeing this same push towards AI adoption in the financial sector globally.
It's definitely happening globally.
Right.
Financial institutions all over the world are recognizing that AI is no longer a luxury. It's becoming a necessity to stay competitive and relevant.
It's incredible to see how quickly AI is transforming entire industries.
Yeah.
But China's not just focusing on software and digital advancements.
Right.
They're also making some really interesting strides in advanced materials.
Yeah.
Specifically, I was reading about a breakthrough in the synthesis of something called hexagonal diamond.
Ah, yes, this is a fascinating development.
Okay,
You see, cubic diamonds
the kind we're all familiar with.
exactly are already incredibly hard.
Yeah.
But hexagonal diamonds,
Okay,
due to their unique atomic structure, are theoretically even harder and more resistant to heat.
okay, that sounds impressive.
Yeah,
But I'm having trouble wrapping my head around the practical implications.
sure.
What's the real-world significance of a super tough diamond?
Well, the potential applications are vast
Okay.
and incredibly exciting.
Like what?
To give you an idea, imagine if cubic diamonds are like steel.
Okay,
Then hexagonal diamonds are like a super strong titanium.
okay.
Think about industries that rely on materials with exceptional hardness and durability.
Uh-huh,
Aerospace, defense, manufacturing, even electronics.
yeah.
All these fields could be revolutionized by hexagonal diamond.
Wow.
We could see stronger, more efficient, and longer-lasting products in all these areas.
It sounds like this could be a game changer for a lot of industries.
It very well could be.
Would you say this aligns with China's larger ambitions in the global tech landscape?
Absolutely, this breakthrough feeds directly into China's ambition to become a global leader in high-tech manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
By mastering the synthesis of these advanced materials, China could disrupt global markets
Yeah.
and potentially reshape entire industries.
It's a clear signal that they're aiming to be at the forefront of material science and innovation.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So diamonds aren't just a fashion statement anymore.
It seems not.
They're playing a major role in the global technology race.
Right.
And speaking of cutting-edge tech, China is also making some bold bets in the electric vehicle market,
Okay.
specifically with solid-state batteries.
Interesting.
I saw that Hyundai and Changan Automobile are pouring resources into this technology
Uh-huh.
with some ambitious targets for pilot production and mass adoption.
Right.
What's the big deal about solid-state batteries?
So,
Why all the excitement?
solid-state batteries are widely considered the next big leap in battery technology.
Okay.
They offer some major advantages over the lithium-ion batteries that are currently powering most EVs.
Got it.
First, they have higher energy density,
Okay.
which means you can store more energy in the same amount of space,
Right.
leading to longer driving ranges.
Makes sense.
Second, they can charge much faster,
Oh, wow.
which addresses one of the biggest concerns for EV owners.
Right. Yep.
And finally, they're significantly safer,
How so?
since they eliminate the flammable liquid electrolyte found in traditional batteries.
Oh, interesting. So it's a win-win-win situation.
You could say that.
But how does this play into the global EV landscape?
Well,
Could this give Chinese EV makers a competitive edge?
it certainly has the potential to,
Okay.
if Chinese companies can successfully scale up production
Yep.
and bring down the cost of solid-state batteries,
Uh-huh.
they could gain a significant advantage in the rapidly growing EV market.
Interesting.
We're already seeing companies like Leading Intelligence and Lyric Robot preparing for a surge in demand for solid-state battery production equipment.
It's fascinating to see how this technology could reshape the entire EV industry.
Yeah,
But we've only scratched the surface of what's happening in China.
I know, right?
There's a whole lot more to cover.
Yeah, we do.
We've got news about ByteDance's new AI model architecture that's said to drastically reduce AI processing costs.
Uh-huh.
Plans for a super high-speed railway between Shanghai and Hangzhou.
Wow.
XPeng's announcement about their upcoming autonomous driving advancements with the Mo 3 Max.
Okay.
And even a Warner Bros. Studio tour in Shanghai featuring the Harry Potter world.
No way.
Set to open in 2027.
That's amazing.
It's a truly diverse mix of developments that highlight China's multifaceted approach to innovation.
Yeah,
It's clear they're not limiting themselves to any one area.
definitely not.
They're pushing boundaries across the board.
It's pretty impressive.
I'm already feeling a bit overwhelmed with all this information,
I hear you.
but in a good way.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Perhaps we could take a moment to pause,
Sure.
let everything sink in
Good idea.
before we dive into those other developments.
Yeah, let's take a breath and then jump back into the rest of these developments.
Sounds good.
Okay, back again, ready to delve back into the world of China's rapid advancements.
Absolutely. Let's tackle those other intriguing developments we touched on earlier.
Right.
You mentioned something about ByteDance creating a new AI model architecture that's supposed to make AI processing much more efficient.
Yeah, so ByteDance, the company behind TikTok, has
Right.
developed this new model architecture called UltraMem.
Okay.
What's interesting about this is that it claims to significantly reduce the cost of running AI,
Okay.
specifically in the area of memory access, which is often a bottleneck for these large-scale AI models.
So they're essentially making AI more affordable.
Exactly.
What kind of impact could that have?
So they're claiming it could be anywhere from 2 to 6 times faster than existing models.
Wow.
And up to 83% cheaper to run.
That's huge.
If this technology lives up to its promise,
Yeah.
it could really democratize access to AI.
Okay.
Imagine smaller businesses, startups, and research institutions being able to leverage the power of AI without breaking the bank.
Right.
It could really accelerate innovation across a wide range of sectors.
That's a game changer. And speaking of game changers, we also briefly mentioned plans for a super high-speed railway between Shanghai and Hangzhou.
Right.
What have you learned about this project?
Well, the details are still emerging.
Yeah.
But the very fact that they're planning a super high-speed connection between these two major cities,
Right.
it really speaks volumes about China's ongoing commitment to infrastructure development.
So even faster travel times
Yeah.
between two of China's most important economic hubs.
Exactly. We're talking about speeds potentially exceeding those of their already impressive high-speed rail lines.
That's bound to have a ripple effect, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What kind of economic impact could this have?
Well, the implications are significant.
Okay.
It's all about connectivity and efficiency.
Uh-huh.
This kind of infrastructure project
Yep.
could boost tourism, facilitate business travel,
Uh-huh.
and further integrate these two economic powerhouses,
Right.
leading to increased productivity and growth.
It all sounds incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
But I can't help but think about the potential environmental impact of such ambitious infrastructure projects.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
And a conversation that's happening globally.
Right.
While China has been making efforts to incorporate green technologies and promote sustainable development,
Yeah.
balancing economic growth with environmental protection,
Right.
it's a complex challenge.
Yeah, definitely.
It'll be interesting to see how they address those concerns as they continue to develop these massive projects.
Definitely something to watch closely.
Yeah.
Now, on a lighter note,
Okay.
we also touched on the Warner Bros. Studio Tour in Shanghai,
Yes.
featuring the Harry Potter world set to open in 2027.
Big news.
That sounds like a pretty big deal, not just for fans of the franchise,
right.
but potentially for China's tourism industry.
Definitely.
What are your thoughts on the development?
I think it's a brilliant strategic move.
Okay.
Tapping into the global popularity of the Harry Potter franchise
Yeah.
is a surefire way to attract international tourism.
Right.
And it's also a sign that China's not just focused on technological advancement.
Uh-huh.
They're also looking to become a major player in the global entertainment and tourism landscape.
It's almost like they're creating this irresistible combination.
Yeah.
Cutting-edge technology, super fast trains, and a magical world of wizards.
Yeah, what's not to love?
What's not to love?
It underscores their goal to be a global leader across multiple sectors.
Okay, before we get completely swept up in the excitement of exploring Hogwarts in Shanghai,
Uh-huh.
there was one more announcement we wanted to discuss.
Right.
What can you tell us about XPeng's autonomous driving advancements with their Mo3 Max system?
Okay.
Is this another step towards the future of self-driving cars?
It certainly seems so.
Okay.
XPeng's chairman He Xiaopeng recently announced that they're launching an upgraded version of their autonomous driving system, the Mo3 Max, in May.
Okay.
And he boldly claimed it will feature the industry's most advanced self-driving technology.
Those are some big claims.
They are.
What are the experts saying about this new system?
Well,
Could this really be a breakthrough in autonomous driving technology?
it's definitely generating a lot of buzz in the industry.
Okay.
XPeng seems confident that they're pushing the boundaries of what's possible with self-driving technology.
Uh-huh.
They're predicting that the adoption rate of advanced self-driving systems
Okay.
will jump from about 2% today to a whopping 50% or even higher in the next decade.
Wow. That's a pretty bold prediction.
It is.
It sounds like China's determined to be at the forefront of this self-driving revolution.
Yeah.
But this isn't just a Chinese phenomenon, is it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
The race to develop and deploy fully autonomous vehicles is happening globally,
Right.
with major players from all over the world vying for dominance.
Uh-huh.
It's clear that China is determined to be a major player in this transformative technology, though.
Yeah.
They see it as a key area for future growth and innovation.
It's incredible how quickly this technology is developing
I know, it's amazing.
and how much it has the potential to change our lives.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
But China's advancements go far beyond just technology.
Right.
We also need to address their growing influence in the global financial markets.
That's right, China's economic influence is extending beyond its borders and impacting the global financial landscape in significant ways.
It's fascinating to think about how interconnected the world's economies are becoming. What are some of the key trends you're seeing in terms of China's growing financial influence?
Well, one of the most notable trends is the increasing participation of foreign investors in China's financial markets.
Okay.
Our sources indicate that the number of overseas clients in China's futures market, for example, grew by 17% in 2024,
Wow.
with their trading volume surging by 28%.
So more international players are putting their money into Chinese markets. Why is that? What's driving this trend?
There are a few factors at play. Despite some recent slowdowns, China's economy remains a powerhouse,
Right.
and many investors see a lot of potential for growth there. Plus, China has been actively opening up its financial markets, making it easier for foreigners to participate.
Okay.
They've introduced more investment channels
Right.
and relaxed certain restrictions, which has made it more appealing for international investors to get involved.
That makes sense. But what does this mean for the global financial system? Does China's growing financial influence change the dynamics in any significant way?
It definitely has implications. As China's financial markets become more integrated with the global system,
Yeah.
their performance and policies are going to have a greater impact on international markets.
Okay.
This creates both opportunities and challenges. For example, greater access to Chinese capital could be a boon for businesses and investors around the world.
I see.
But it also raises questions about financial stability and risk management on a global scale.
So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, increased opportunity, but also increased complexity and potential for volatility.
Exactly. It underscores the fact that we live in an increasingly interconnected world, where financial events in one country can have ripple effects across borders.
Right.
Understanding these dynamics is crucial for anyone operating within the global financial system.
Wow, I feel like I've just gotten a crash course in international finance. We've covered so much ground in this deep dive, from urban villages and super hard diamonds to AIing models that can write poetry and self-driving cars on the verge of becoming mainstream. It's almost overwhelming how much is happening in China right now.
It's definitely a dynamic and rapidly changing landscape, but that's what makes it so fascinating to study and try to understand.
Absolutely. I have to say, even though I'm feeling a bit overloaded with information, I also feel incredibly energized and inspired by everything we've discussed today. I feel like I've not only learned a ton, but also gained a new perspective on China's role in the world. It's clearly not just an economic powerhouse. It's a hub of innovation and ambition, and it's playing an increasingly significant role in shaping the future.
Well said. And perhaps that's the most important takeaway from this deep dive. China is a force to be reckoned with on the global stage, and its influence is only going to continue to grow. Staying informed about its economic and technological advancements is crucial for navigating the future, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I feel much better equipped to understand the complexities of what's happening in China and how it might impact the world. And for anyone out there who doesn't have time to sift through endless financial reports and tech articles, we'll be here to guide you through the most important developments, connecting the dots, and providing those aha moments that make it all come together.
Until our next deep dive, keep exploring and stay curious. There's a whole world of fascinating developments out there waiting to be discovered. First 3-6.